Hey everybody!
Hi everybody.
Welcome to TFT, Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with
Oberon.
me, Banshee, and welcome to your Weird
Week.
Week. What a weird week we had last week, no?
Oh boy.
I mean, I don't even know if I've kept up with everything that's actually going on. We had another, the First Republic Bank is failing. There's just other things going on we did not think about. And also, though, I cannot believe that was it the same day or was it the day after we did this reading for last week that all of a sudden all heck broke out at Fox News.
Yes, it was the same day, I think, or the day after.
Tucker Carlson was later that day. Tucker Carlson was booted from Fox News. What's his name? Don Lemon. Don Lemon was let go from CNN, and some executive at NBC Universal, Jeff Shell, was let go. It was like house cleaning day in media land.
Get it right.
We almost do see how this can fit with the Weird Week, with a couple of other things we'll bring up too. So, let's look at the cards we had for that week. Card 1 was the Death card reversed. And, that was about the theme, the major theme for the week was kind of like stagnation, business as usual, or maybe not even business as usual, just a sense of feeling stuck. Immobilized, unwillingness to change.
Right, and so some of this was really about these situations confronting the idea that they needed to do that and whether the implication showed it.
Well, exactly. So one would think, why wasn't Death upright? Because really, I think some of these changes, like especially with the Fox News thing, and maybe a little bit with Don Lemon too, I'm going to bet with all of these, there's a little bit of reluctance to have to take care of their dirty laundry, these networks.
It's all about not alienating the viewers.
Exactly. Giving the viewers what they want, which is what seems to be Fox News' mantra, but also, these other scenarios and situations too. So what about the Four of Wands reversed here? The Four of Wands reversed was in what will we find out or see, the mysteries of the Weird Week. I guess we need to see that, nothing is happy here. Nobody's happy. People who watch Tucker and Don and some of these other people and liked them, or maybe liked what Jeff was doing at NBC, they're not happy.
People will be thinking about the other foundations of their house, whether it's their workplace or other situation.
And they will think that more work needs to be done, because I am sure, people on the other side who wanted to see somebody like Tucker go, or Don Lemon, for example, they might be feeling right now that, what though, more work needs to be done here. They're just going to replace Tucker Carlson with somebody else who's going to do the same business as usual that's getting them in trouble now.
And it just seemed like there are some other people who probably, we all know, should probably be thinking about whether they'll be next.
Okay, so then card 3 was the Hermit reversed, and that was about what other perspectives need to be considered. And, I think what other factors needed to be considered, and maybe Fox thought about this and knew they were going to be in for a hit, is how everybody would react to this. Would they be able to maintain their audiences? Would they be able to make people happy still? And, that's debatable. The jury's out on this.
Right. There's like a whole dichotomy about being truthful and honest or fair and balanced.
Just giving people what they want.
Mm-hmm.
And so, there is this issue here too with, are we getting the truth and are we getting real news as opposed to opinion journalism? Well, we know what we get when we watch those kinds of shows. So I feel here too that perhaps Fox did not realize how immediate their stocks would sink over this. And also, I've seen some of the ratings for that first night when Tucker Carlson was not in his time slot, and it was not good.
Is that the fourth card?
No, that's still the Hermit.
Oh, okay.
The fourth card is, what is the overall impact? Well, let's talk. Yeah. I mean, right there, we're seeing that this shakeup is shaking people up. Some people are moving on to other, networks that they would prefer. They're all, everybody's staying in their tribe, in their hive. The more things change, the more things stay the same. The Hierophant was reversed, so we'd like to think some positive change has come out of this.
Some status quo changes.
There definitely is some status quo changes.
Yeah, but not enough perhaps, or just the impact isn't really considered, because you still have a group of viewers or a group of participants who refuse to be moved.
Card 5 was what could win the Weird Week. Well, we said nothing at the time, and maybe it's won the Weird Week and maybe it hasn't. 10 of Cups reversed, a family breakup. Right?
Yes.
The media families had to separate from people who were no longer serving them well. They had arguments, difficulties with, differences of opinion, and needless to say, it's led to, some people losing their jobs.
It's definitely not a happy situation, and it just sort of feels like it's really about people getting along. You don't have to necessarily have perfect love and trust, but you do have to be able to get along to some degree.
But let's just talk a minute about a couple more quick scenarios relating to what could have happened last week that related to our cards. Mike Pence, the former Vice President of the United States, testified to the special prosecutor grand jury investigating January 6th and the elections to see if there was anything illegal that had happened. And that was immediately after an appeals court ruled that Pence could testify in this, hearing. And what's interesting to me about that is that moved really quickly.
Yeah.
They did not give, former President Trump the chance to appeal. To the Supreme Court.
It's kind of like the stagnation lifting. It's kind of like
the death reversed again.
People feeling that there's work that needs to get done. It's all those things. It's sort of like the revelation of either the wisdom or the knowledge that had been withheld. So it's kind of...
One could argue, though, in this Mike Pence case, that death was reversed here because this has just been dragging on forever.
For sure.
The case in Georgia, this case, hopefully maybe there's a hope now that maybe we can get beyond that. And so you could clearly see by the rest of these cards how it fits. Obviously, the work's not done on this yet. We don't even know what Pence could have testified. The Hermit reversed, indicates that, knowledge was definitely shared at this hearing. And the 10 of Cups reversed, to me, I'm not even going to get into the Hierophant, but let's get into the Hierophant a little bit here, because this is a very unusual situation to have a vice president of our country testify against a former president.
And up until now, he was just being so conventional with the idea that he would never testify, but he quickly flipped in a way.
And finally, with the 10 of Cups, we know Trump, the MAGA followers of Trump, and other Republicans are probably not happy about this development. Finally, let's go on to Biden and the nuclear warships or subs he sent to South Korea to counter the North's constant missile testing and their nuclear capabilities. Dust reversed. Was this a good idea, or is this just going to cause more stalemate and more divisive, more of the same between North and South? I think so. The Four of Wands reversed. There's just so much work that needs to be done to try to mend this break between North and South, or to try to at least try to engage North Korea into becoming part of the real world and to stop this insanity.
Will people even see that? That's really what that position was about.
The Hermit reverse could indicate to me, I think that Biden's sending a message here, for better or worse. He's sending out the message loud and clear that we're going to defend South Korea.
Well, sacrifices could be made. That's the Hermit too, in a sense.
And the Hierophant reversed, this might be considered a radical maneuver by some. To me, I kind of think it's an expected maneuver, but, I could see how some people think this is a shakeup. And ultimately, what does it do with the 10 of Cups reversed?
Destroys a family.
Yeah, it just, makes divides even deeper, probably. So now I'm going to talk about Ron DeSantis and his world tour and the Disney lawsuit, because clearly all of that fits in beautifully as well.
Yeah.
We
would invite you to mention these things or other things if you wish in the comment section, something we can think about or have further discussion on.
But that whole thing too, because nobody thinks DeSantis' campaign is going anywhere. Yeah. Speaking of death reversed. So, and now he's got Disney to contend with. So, 10 of Cups, very unhappy. Somebody unhappy there. A lot of people. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to
this week's reading.
Let's see what's happening in this weird
What will our focus be?
Oh boy, we've got a lunar eclipse in the sign of Scorpio this week.
Oh boy.
Speaking of death reversed. All right. So, excuse me, our first deck. Our first deck is the Twin Tarot. 2 major arcana cards. One is upright, one is reversed. And we will see what the main focus for this week could be. Yeah, leave it there. All right. Get in there, you. Okay. Oh boy, it's reversed. Holy moly. It is the Star. The Star is reversed. Gotta hold it down a little bit. Sorry, I am really not good at this heart card holding. But anyway, the Star reversed. What could this mean? The main focus is pessimism. Something may happen this week that brings a lot of doom and gloom, a sense of, something serious going on that we can't do anything about or feel it's up to fate and destiny, right, to figure out.
It almost is another idea about inertia in a sense too, but just feeling really like not optimistic, not hopeful for prospects for the future, and maybe feeling a little lackadaisical about, even regular activities to some degree.
I think we'll have to look at more cards to get a feel for this, but my initial thoughts are that some news may come out that's really depressing, whether it's about climate, whether it's about something else, it's going to be kind of...
Right, or other world tensions.
Oh boy, well, let's see what we will find out. The mysteries, Mr. O, that's you.
All right, and for that we use the Secrets Tarot, which all our cards, all our decks that we use, we picked them for a possible symbolic connection with the position, but also too... Oh, I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh no, Mercury retrograde setting in.
It's true.
It's true. It's real. All right, what we will find out or see with the Secrets Tarot.
What is it we should know? What should we be finding out? And it is the 9 of Swords. It's upright.
Holy moly, let's couple that with the Star reversed. That's very disappointing.
Right, because what we may be finding out is that there are things that don't affect us directly, but we feel maybe from that global or national or whatever perspective are sad or of concern, and that maybe frighten us in the night or make us worried for other people, other situations.
We will find out or see something that's very worrisome. It could keep us awake at night. I'm wondering, of course, I think about some of the terrible weather patterns we've had. There's flooding of the Mississippi. There's, flooding in California. Will there be some kind of thing that's keeping people up at night in those areas? worried for their homes, their properties, their livelihoods. So there's definitely something that's making people very anxious.
And so then now we want to find out what are the other perspectives to consider. So
I have
for
more
that,
thoughts on this, but go ahead. While you're shuffling, I'll say
I was
it.
going to let you shuffle first this time.
Okay, go ahead and explain the cards first.
Well, we use for this our shared deck, the Tarot of the Oppositions, and it is similar in a way to the first deck that we use in the sense that it has each card has a possible dual meaning or the idea of its reversed as well as its upright self are contained on the card. So you can kind of look at both of those as those differing perspectives, opposing perspectives, or you can also consider what there is that's fungible or liminal in that gray area in between those extremes, perhaps.
All right, thank you for that.
They are not the easiest deck to shuffle.
Oh my God, and one of your cards is dog-eared.
Yeah. I thought that was our deck.
Well, it is our deck, and I hate to see that. It's dog-eared. All right. So, the other thing I wanted to say about this right here, in what will we find out or see, this is like something that is going to, is it real though? I wonder here if this pessimism, this doubt and these fears, are they real? Is somebody trying to drum up something? Like critical race theory, the books, we got to ban all these books because they're all dangerous, Is somebody trying to drum up something? And that I'm wondering about too is a possibility here, right? So that is an aspect of that card is, are your fears real? Often they are. Sometimes
good point, yes. All right.
What other perspectives will we see? Oh my gosh.
Do you want me to place it?
Is it reversed though? It's reversed.
No, it's upright.
Oh. With the empty chair?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes. I see what you're saying.
Uh-huh.
Yes. It's the reversed. It's the reversed Eight of Swords. Well, the cards that are good meaning upright are maybe not exactly what you think they would be in this deck.
Well, what we also have to consider here is that in this position and with this deck, we tend to look at both sides of the card. So what other perspectives need to be considered is how we release ourselves from these fears and anxieties. What can we do about it? Do we feel our hands are tied, or are we ready to get up and take action?
There is a fungible thing in the middle there that suggests that there is a little bit of both of that this news is disconcerting and makes many of us feel that, in fact, there are few choices or few ways out of a situation that maybe we're seeing from the first two cards. But then there will always be those who feel that there is an opportunity or that there is something at least worthy about trying to rally against fate.
This lineup of cards is just amazing.
Yeah, I wonder where we're going.
Really wonder where we're going with this. Card 4, what is the overall impact? And for that, I use the Healing Light Tarot. Let me hand these back to you. Okay. I can't shuffle on this table.
Okay, we'll have to make accommodation. Do you think it's the banner or something else?
It's,
the runner?
No, it's the table itself. Because even if you took the runner off, it's a soft thing. I can't
Is it anything to do
I
with
need
the
a
height?
hard surface. This
Because
is
you really
not.
need to push against
Feel
it.
it. Yeah.
I
It's not a
gotcha.
hard surface.
Alrighty.
Not
That's
that
why
I'm
the card
complaining
came
to the
over.
producer.
Oh, why would I think that?
It's
You're
because of
like always the easiest person to work with.
Uh-oh.
Never a prima donna. Not demanding like Lady Esmeralda or Bly.
Where's my margarita?
That's Friday night. And that's right, everybody. Join us on Friday night for our regular live stream has been rescheduled to Friday night, which is
From Thursday,
which is Cinco de Mayo. We're normally on Thursdays, but we're going to be on Friday, which happens to be Cinco de Mayo. It's been suggested that maybe every time we turn over a reverse card, we take a sip from a beverage of choice.
He's the one who suggested that.
I did. And I don't usually drink, so it could be very interesting.
It could be bad. Oh my goodness. The readings could degenerate quickly. Well, anyway, this one will not. So what is the overall impact? It's the Three of Wands. See the ship?
Yes. So it is the Three of Wands. It's upright.
Yeah. Well, what does this mean? I think it might spur some action or movement in regards to coming up with long-term plans or strategies.
Well, this is an overall impact, and it could actually
Do you think this could also, do you think this could also be that the overall impact could be global because the ship is on there in the water?
I do feel that, and I feel that this also doesn't represent that obvious idea if everybody says, come on, let's get to work. I think it represents the idea of a change in mindset, and that maybe we might find more of a global consensus that we have to work together. We have to plan together. We have to catch the right wave in order to create what we need to create. And so that means that, there will be backlash, but really the prognosis looks like most of the world could get caught up in that wave.
There is something in that card about anticipation too. So the overall impact, what could this mean? Could this mean that people are expecting the worst? They're anticipating something bad happening, or are they anticipating something being done, about it on a more global level? Boy, this almost sounds like climate to me or something.
It sounds a lot like it could be a climate impact, or it could be an impact that has major implications. So it could be something to do with, we're hearing people talking about the purity of everyone coming to nuclear and getting rid of fossil fuel, or some alternatives to fossil fuel. What could it be?
I don't know. But what could win or not?
The Weird Week.
The Weird Week.
And for that, I use the Global Fusion Intuitive Tarot by Wayne Rodney. Beautiful deck. And the idea behind card 5 is, what are possible strategies or the outcomes that could arise that could possibly point the way to something that could win the Weird Week? Especially when you consider where things really seem to follow a narrative, it's important to know that this is a good card here. And it is, in fact, it's the reversed Five of Wands. Am I right? Clubs would be wands, right?
Yes, if that's truly a club. I also see...
Well, I'm looking at the suit down there. He uses the traditional suits. He uses hearts or diamonds.
Okay, it could be. But also there's stars, or what does he do for...
See, that's coins? A pentacle.
Oh, it's a club. You're right.
I'm right.
You are right.
So it's the reverse.
Know your deck.
The reversed Five of Pentacles. Wands. I'm sorry. The reversed Five of Wands.
Hands down. You know,
Yes,
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
well, there sounds like there's a lot of friction with the idea of the reversed Five of Wands. It sounds like people who aren't used to necessarily working well with each other, but maybe the idea is that this is the moment where people have to say, put up or shut up. Either you're going to work together as fictitious as it could possibly be, or nothing's going to happen.
Well, that's the point here, I think, is that to me it's leaning the other way that people decide to pull apart again. But the bottom line to me is what he said. Either people are going to have to iron out these differences, or it's possible here that one side is just going to give up and walk away. I don't know what this could be.
Well, I actually feel that this is the possibility of it being multi-power, not unipower, and that there may be more than one partner possible. I mean, there could be China, there could be the U.S., there could be Canada, there could be France, England,
Some of
Russia,
the things
etc.
we haven't talked about before, or paid a lot of attention to, is like, for example, in last week's reading, every single card we had was reversed. Now, in this reading, 3 of them are upright, but, well, no, 2 of them are upright.
No, 3 are, because
3
that's
are.
upright.
But the 2 of the 3 cards...
Oh, wait, you're right. The star is reversed.
Yeah, wait a minute. The star is reversed. This is upright. This is technically reversed.
Yes.
So this is
and
upright.
The last one is reversed.
So 2 of them are upright and 3 are reversed. Yeah. So... so we're looking at stuff like this, and what I want to say, too, is in this reading we have 2 swords and we have 2 wands. And so I wonder here if it's not legal, if we're going to hear something in the legal world that's going to be rather earth-shaking, or if it's going to be something in business and enterprise. Or if it's not legal, it could be politics and government, right?
Well, it could be a little bit of both. I mean, it could be, the legal ramifications of enterprises locking hands to form a new corporation to deal with whatever the situation is. We suspect it could be climate related. And of course, the cynical part of me says immediately, oh, well, you guys made the disaster. Now you're going to find a way to profit from it.
Oh, boy. There you go.
There I go. But do you think we should wrap it up then?
We are going to wrap it up right now.
Right.
We're going to try. So let's look at that first card. There's something that's really causing a lot of pessimism. It just seems like the wind has been taken out of people's sails by something.
Something hopeless.
Something feels hopeless. Whatever that is. So it could be about war, it could be about Russia, it could be about some other situations or circumstances. And what we'll find out or see is this idea that, we're going to be really afraid or nervous. It's going to make us nervous, very anxious, a lot of anxiety and stress associated with this.
Well, I think it also points to the idea that we're feeling also that others feel this too. I mean, the Nine of Swords typically talks about somebody who understands others are going through this too or feel it, and they're sort of commiserating in a sense. Are we commiserating with the rest of the world suffering a great impact of some sort?
I hope there's not going to be another, like there's one every week, but a mass shooting or something too that's going to engender this fear and lack of pessimism because nothing ever seems to get done. So, and people kind of fall apart on it. That's just a thought I have, because also when I look at this here, the empty chair or feeling trapped, that's kind of worrisome to me. That's what other perspectives need to be considered. And basically it looks as though, well, we could decide to do nothing or keep our hands feeling that our hands are tied and there's nothing we can do about it. Or we can get up off that chair and try to take matters into hand to create change.
But when you think about the idea that either side could be a positive or a negative, maybe some people just want to cut and run and say, well, okay, we can't go to Mars, but maybe we can find a way to go somewhere where none of this is happening. I don't know where that would be on the world right now, but maybe some people want to escape.
Okay.
Maybe that's what the idea is too, is escape.
I didn't know we were going there, but okay. But
well,
okay.
Climate disaster.
Well, I'm not completely convinced it's climate as I look at this, but
Okay.
I'm
They say
not
there's
going
a
to rule it
big.
out. That was my first thought, seeing this uncontrolled and this fear
It's
and
because of the
anxiety.
swords and wands balance,
A little bit.
I guess.
Card 4. What is the overall impact? Well, the overall impact is, we're trying to, it may be global. The overall impact may be global. It may affect other countries in some way. Also, there's an anticipation here. The overall impact is people are anticipating something. Are we anticipating another shoe to drop?
I think it's a good thing we're anticipating, and I think that maybe the narrative does change to the degree that people naturally want to work together if it's about saving everyone or as many as possible, whether it's a global climate thing or whether it's something business, legal related, whatever it is, more people are going to finally say, we need to work together. Can that happen?
And then card 5 is, again, what could win the weird week? I personally feel it's not a win. He may disagree with me on this one, so let's see how we go. But I don't feel it's a win. I feel as though somebody's giving up here. Now, maybe if whoever's giving up is the one that's causing a crisis of some sort, okay. But if it's, people trying to fix what's wrong and they just give up, that's not going to help. What do you feel?
Well, to me, it feels like there's something fictitious happening, and that maybe it is likely that other partners or possible partners, whether they're state actors or whether they're corporations, won't find an easy way to work together.
Yeah, as typical. And or governments. And so that's it. It's either government, industry related, it could be systems, it could be systems as well. Like maybe there's some breakdown in some system that's affecting a lot of people. I'm not ruling out climate, but I'm not ruling out weather disasters either. And I'm not ruling out even mass shootings or something with a tinge that makes people scared, like maybe a development in one of the wars going on, whether it's in Sudan, wherever it is, whether it's in Russia. There's so many conflicts going on in the world. So I don't know. I guess we're going to have to see again how this plays out. But I don't think it's going to be something quite as, how should I say, focused as what happened with the Fox News thing.
You think like it'll just be something all over the place? What?
Maybe more global implications. Does what happened at Fox News?
Oh, yeah. I don't think this is something just affecting one business or country.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's, I guess that's what I was trying to say. I'm losing it a little bit.
No, that's okay. We're both a little tired, but hey,
we're done.
I could also see this, I'm hearing about some weird stuff going on with climate. So I'm keeping my mind open that, business comes in because business has a way of trying to fix it.
Well, that's our show.
That's our show.
So we'll see you next time when we can recap and see if we can put paint a picture with these cards. And until next time, be safe out there in this crazy, weird world and in this weird week ahead.
All right. So
take care, everybody.
Time again.
Bye-bye.